Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Today I have a project to share with you using a stamp set that's new to me. It's called Serene and it's from Penny Black. It's a 3x4 stamp set, but I thought it'd be a great stash builder. I love backgrounds and I thought this would create fun backgrounds for multiple cards. Today's project we're going to make a Valentine's Day card. And so we're starting off by inking up our largest flourish in the stamp set. There's two. We're going to do the largest one with Versamark ink, and then I'm going to stamp it on a piece of white cardstock. I'm going to flip it around and then stamp it also kind of overlapping the stems a little bit. I want that bottom right corner too. After we have both of our images stamped, we're going to go over them with some gold embossing powder. I think this creates a real elegant background. Using my heat gun, we're going to melt our embossing powder till it's nice and shiny. After that's melted, I'm going to take a stitched rectangle die and I'm going to cut out a panel that's 3.5 inches by 4 3/4, making sure I get that bottom corner in there. I'll just run that through my die cut machine. Okay, next we're going to use some Oxide ink, so I'm taking a piece of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock, and I'm going to use two different shades. I have Abandoned Coral and Worn Lipstick. I'm going to blend them both together, starting with the Abandoned Coral. I'm going to die cut out a heart on this panel, so I just need a little portion of it. Now I'm mixing the two together to create a little bit more of a pinky coral color, because that's the color of my card base. I'm going to take my distress sprayer. We're going to add some water droplets and activate that ink a little bit. Lovely. Okay, we're going to set that aside, and I'm going to do a little bit of ink splattering with the same inks. So I'm trying to create the same color. So I added both to my block, and I think I added a little bit too much of the Abandoned Coral because it was real orange, and I needed it to be a little bit more pink. So I'm going to go in my Oxide inks. I'm going to take the picked raspberry. I'm going to add a little bit to my corner and kind of blend that in, creating more of a pinky coral color. I'll just use my paintbrush and I'll do a little bit of splattering, adding some color next to that gold background. Now here's where I'm going to take my heart die and I'll cut out a heart with that Distress Oxide ink. While I'm at it, I'm going to also use this love die set from Serene Stamp. I bought this last year, and I love this. Is my go-to Valentines sentiment die set. It has an outline, and then it also has a very dainty, thin love word die that will die cut out. Okay, after I die cut out my love with the gold cardstock, I'm going to adhere it to my outline that I cut out with my vellum. I'm going to layer them both together just using my glue. And the glitter cardstock that I'm using I had in my stash, and it's the sheddable kind, so I have glitter everywhere. Okay, next I'm going to doctor up my heart a little bit. To do that, I'm going to be using my Versamark ink. I'm going to go around the edges of my heart. And to get that corner, I always go in the corner of the ink pad, and it fills it in beautifully. Next, I'll take some more of the gold embossing powder and go over the edges. Now, I didn't use my anti-static powder tool, so I have little flakes of the gold glitter all along my heart, and I like that effect. I wanted it to be kind of marbly, and the Distress Oxide ink was still a little bit wet, so you could see where the extra embossing powder stuck, and it creates a real kind of a vintagey looking heart. I'm going to go ahead and melt that, and I'll show you a close-up here in just a second of what it looks like. So this is a good mess up. Let me grab a piece of cardstock so you can see it a little bit better, but it creates a real pretty marbly against that distressed background. Okay, now we're going to finish off our card. I want to add a second part to my love sentiment, so I'm going to kind of position my heart and then my die cut love where I want them to go on my panel. Next, I'm going to be using the love stamp set from Serene Stamp. This actually coordinates with that die. A lot of sentiments that can go with love. I chose love you always. I just stamped it with my VersaFine ink right below the love. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape behind my heart and the love to add a little bit more dimension to my card. And we'll place that right back in the home. We're going to flip this panel over, and then we're going to be placing this on an A2 size card base, and I'm using some Fawn's GUAVA cardstock. This is my favorite color. I love coral, and we're going to use this card base today. Place that right in the center. Now we need some bells and whistles, so I'm going to use some Nuvo crystal drops. This is bubblegum blush. I'm going to add a few droplets around my gold foliage, and then I'm also going to take some gold Stickles. Now my Stickles is almost out, and I chose this because I like the bold gold color of them. It kind of coordinated with my glitter cardstock really well. I'm going to add a few drops of gold here and there, and then that completes my card for today, guys. I think it creates a real pretty, elegant card, especially when you add the gold to your Distress Oxide panels. But here's some close-ups. I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks so much for joining me. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.